I was reborn with Mary. On the eve of our wedding, she unhesitatingly took off her engagement ring and said, "George, I am not going to marry you." I didn't hesitate at all and gladly agreed. 6 years later, I returned to the United States to attend a business dinner. At that dazzling banquet, Mary was arm in arm with her true love, a rising star in the entertainment industry, looking like a match made in heaven under the lights. Meanwhile, I was quietly packing a cake from the serving cart into a takeout bag. She saw my action and immediately mocked me, instantly attracting everyone's attention. "Mr. George, can't you even afford a piece of cake?" Her words were sharp and bitter, filled with disdain. I had no choice but to make my relationship public. To my surprise, Mary seemed to go crazy. "George, did I agree for you to marry someone else?" Her eyes were filled with disbelief and anger. At the banquet, everyone gathered around Mary, congratulating her and Tom on their romantic union. "President Mary, congratulations! After years of unrequited love, it has finally come to fruition. You must invite us to the wedding feast." What unrequited love? This is clearly a mutual pursuit. One is a powerful woman in business, and the other is an emerging star in the entertainment industry. They are simply perfect for each other. Just 2 words: a match made in heaven. Mary smiled gracefully as she lifted her wine glass and took a gentle sip of red wine. However, her peripheral vision occasionally darted my way, as if she were observing my reaction. Hearing someone mention the term top influencer, the corners of my mouth involuntarily lifted slightly. I raised my phone and took a picture of the dazzling array of food trucks, my fingers quickly dancing across the keyboard as I sent a message to my partner. Mary thought I was sneering, and her expression instantly turned displeased. At this moment, someone mentioned the past between her and me. "I heard that George, the young master of the Venus family, is here today. Back then, they didn't get married, and George disappeared from the scene ever since. Tisk, what's wrong with bowing to a woman when facing business difficulties? President Mary is doing so well now. George must be regretting it to death." Mary let them speculate as they wished, and simply said, "People always have to pay the price for their wrong choices." As the person involved, I couldn't care less about these idle gossip. At this moment, all that occupied my mind was that delicious matcha mousse. I called over a waiter to help me find a takeout box and carefully packed that small piece of cake into the bag. Just as I was about to leave the banquet hall, Mary's mocking voice came from behind. "Look at you. So inexperienced and naive. Don't you feel embarrassed? Young Master George can't even afford a piece of cake." As soon as she finished speaking, everyone's gaze fell sharply on the bag in my hand, their expressions revealing a shared sense of disdain, even contempt. After all, this was a high-class event. How could anyone attending the banquet be so poor as to need to take a piece of cake home? It was clear from their expressions that they all suspected I had snuck in to mooch off the food and drinks. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. I shrugged, a casual and carefree smile on my face. My reaction only further provoked Mary's sensitive nerves. Her expensive earrings swayed slightly with the movement of her jaw, and a clear layer of anger covered her beautiful face. "George, after all these years, you haven't made any progress in other areas, but your skin has certainly gotten thicker." A few suppressed snickers reached my ears. They scrutinized me from head to toe, comparing my clearly worn suit to Mary's limited edition dress from this season. Yet I remained unfazed, wearing a calm expression, completely indifferent to their gazes. "Thank you for the compliment," I said, leaving with an indifferent back, leaving Mary there to sulk alone. Someone saw this and quickly changed the subject. "I heard that Nicole, the best actress, is going to announce some big news today. Has anyone heard any rumors?" "No. Nicole has been getting more and more mysterious lately. It's hard to even get a meeting with her to discuss collaboration. Who can blame her? Not only is she an actress, but she's also a big player in the capital. She's just playing around in the entertainment industry. At that moment, Nicole, whom they were talking about, was sending me a voice message on her phone, acting cute. "Honey, how much longer until you arrive? While the manager is away, I can't wait to eat matcha mousse," I replied to her with a little greedy cat emoji, putting all the unpleasant things that had just happened out of my mind. However, the number that once blocked me suddenly sent a few messages. "George, you see clearly now. This is the gap between us. The one who can't live without me is you. Without me, you won't fare much better." Is it really me who can't live without her? Memories from the last life surged to the forefront of my mind like a tide. In the last life, it was not my family that encountered difficulties in business, but the JIS family. Mary's father leveraged decades of friendship, hoping my grandfather would lend a helping hand. Thus, the interests of both families were tightly bound together. With the strong encouragement of the elders, Mary and I got engaged. The night before getting the certificate, I asked Mary, "Have you really thought it through? Money matters might still be resolved in other ways. If you regret it now, it's not too late." Mary hesitated, but in the end she shook her head and went with me to register for marriage. In fact, I always knew that the man she liked was named Tom, a handsome young man from the countryside with a sunny smile. They met while volunteering at university. Even without me, Mary's family firmly opposed her being with Tom for a simple reason. Their backgrounds did not match. We played the role of a couple in front of outsiders. But when we got home, we each went to our own separate worlds, your own rooms, and rarely communicate with each other. It's hard for me not to be moved by a girl like Mary. Every time she links her arm with mine and introduces me as her husband to the guests, my heart can't help but race as if it has been thrown into the clouds. I silently pray that time will allow her to slowly fall in love with me. Unexpectedly, Tom entered the entertainment industry by chance with the role of a young general. He quickly became famous that summer. Mary often stared blankly at his photos, and the wedding ring was forgotten on the bathroom counter. We rarely appeared together in social settings anymore, as Mary intentionally downplayed her image as my wife. "George, let's get a divorce." After a long psychological struggle, she finally made this request to me. I said with a bitter smile, "Mary, my grandfather just invested a large sum of money into your family project, so now is not the time to talk about this." I knew in my heart that this might not win her back, but I still wanted to find an excuse to delay things. Mary seemed to have anticipated this. She stood up and packed her bags that night, moving out of the house. From then on, it was no different from a divorce for us. Mary's company began to expand into new business related to film and cultural media. For the first time, her social circle featured a photo with Tom captioned, "Finally seeing you again, my big star." At that moment, my heart seemed to plummet from 10,000 meters high, shattering into pieces. The next time I saw Mary was because Tom's dating rumors had surfaced, and the person he was rumored to be with was not her. Mary was drowning her sorrows at the bar, drinking herself into a stupor, and ran to the restroom to vomit violently. The bar owner is a friend of mine, and he quickly called me. I rushed to the bar to pick her up. Mary hugged me and cried bitterly. "Do you think feelings have to come in a certain order? I'm sorry, Tom. I came too late." She fell asleep on my shoulder, her tears soaking my sleeve, my nose tinged with sadness, and I couldn't help but let the tears flow down my face. Yes, perhaps feelings really do depend on the order in which they come. No matter how hard I try, my place in her heart will never compare to Tom's. I carried Mary into the elevator, but just as we were about to reach home, the elevator malfunctioned. In an instant, everything went dark, and we plummeted rapidly from several stories high, accompanied by a deafening crash. We both died in the elevator shaft. I didn't expect that we had actually been reborn to the night I asked her if she had thought about getting married. Mary took off the ring without hesitation and said, "You're right. I'm not getting married." I nodded and readily agreed. A hint of surprise flashed in Mary's eyes as our gazes briefly met, and we both understood that we had both been reborn. We tacitly agreed not to mention the past again, and from then on, we did not interfere with each other. With the experience from her past life, Mary quickly resolved the business crisis. My grandfather was very angry about her breaking off the engagement and severed ties with her family. As for me, I resolutely boarded the flight abroad. "The last bite is for you. I can't eat anymore. I have to maintain my figure." Nicole held the mousse to my lips, looking at me with a beaming smile. I smiled helplessly, opened my mouth, and took that bite of mousse, the sweet aroma of matcha instantly spreading between my lips and teeth. She gently wiped my mouth with a tissue. And at that moment, there was a knock at the door. "Nicole, it's time to put on your makeup." I gently rubbed her nose with my finger while tidying up the trash, cleaning up the crime scene. "Well, I'm off then," Nicole said reluctantly as she bid me farewell. "Have fun later." I opened the door, and her makeup artist and assistant greeted me proactively. "Hello, brother-in-law." "Hello. Thank you for your hard work," I smiled as I left the VIP room. Not far along, I ran into Tom. He was accompanied by several staff members, and upon seeing me, he deliberately stopped in his tracks, blocking my way. "Isn't this young Master George? I've heard about your cake-stealing incident. What brings you to the third floor this time?" he said, insincerely, a hint of smugness on his face. The people next to him also showed meaningful expressions. I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to him, but Tom was relentless. "Let me guess. What else do you want to steal? The stockings of a female star?" His teasing tone made his subordinates burst into laughter. "We all know tonight's dinner not only invites the elites of the business world, but also many handsome men and beautiful women from the entertainment industry. Everyone wants to take this opportunity to expand their network and make more friends. Brother Tom, have some understanding for a single man. It's normal for him to have desires when no woman finds him appealing," his lackey echoed, and these words struck a chord with Tom, making his sinister smile even more pronounced. In fact, he has always held a grudge against me for being engaged to Mary. Mary's father once had someone warn him not to have inappropriate thoughts about his daughter. Tom blamed all the humiliation he suffered back then on me. "George, Mary is mine now. Are you jealous?" I replied. "Do your fans know how dirty your heart is privately?" Hearing this, Tom's eyes twitched, and his face turned pale for a moment. He gritted his teeth and said, "You've gotten bold, huh? Dare to threaten me?" I patted him on the shoulder and pointed to the surveillance camera not far away, saying, "You better not be afraid of being threatened." Tom reluctantly loosened his tightly clenched fist. I coldly shoved him aside, and he instinctively winced in pain, glaring at me with hatred. Before the formal start of the banquet, I went to the restroom to wash my hands. After a while, there was a sudden commotion at the scene. Everyone was looking down, searching for something. "Tom, do you remember who came out of the men's restroom after you?" someone asked, and the scene instantly fell silent as everyone waited for his response. Tom pretended to recall seriously and said, "Let me think." At that time, only Master George was present. After finishing, he added, "Well, he might have stolen a piece of cake at most, but he definitely wouldn't casually take such an expensive watch." That's hard to say. Mary was the first to stand up and refute him. The scorching gazes of everyone once again pierced through me. It turned out that Tom had just gone to the bathroom, and after he came out, His watch was missing. Now, for some inexplicable reason, I was being made to bear this accusation. Once a thief, will you still expect him not to steal a second time? Mary frowned in disgust, her words filled with sarcasm. Sister-in-law is right. People who can't even afford a cake would definitely be eager to pick up a watch, Tom's lackey maliciously retorted. Young Master George, everyone is calling you young master out of respect for your grandfather. If you really took something, you should hand it over quickly and not embarrass old master. Venus, a portly middle-aged man, stepped forward to mediate. I remember he had quite a few collaborations with the JIS family, and it was clear he was venting for Mary. Some people also expressed agreement. Yeah, making a big deal out of it doesn't look good for anyone. If you run into trouble, just tell us. We're all old friends, and if we can help, we will. How much is a watch worth? The most important thing in life is to have self-respect. I coldly scanned the people around me and finally fixed my gaze on Tom. Where's the evidence? Evidence? You still have a chance to turn yourself in. Involuntarily, once the evidence comes, it will be too late for you to regret, Tom said provocatively. We were at a standstill for a moment when Tom's assistant hurried over. He had gone ahead to check the surveillance and recorded the footage on his phone. The surveillance footage shows that Tom entered the restroom first, wearing a watch on his wrist. I followed closely behind and was out in less than a minute. When Tom came out again, his wrist was empty. The video circulated among the crowd, and they believed they had discovered the truth, beginning to pass moral judgment on me. Surely it was stolen while he wasn't paying attention during hand-washing, going to the bathroom so quickly, feeling guilty like a thief. Mr. Venus, good reputation has been completely ruined. Mary coldly drew a line with me. George, this is your own doing. Are you satisfied now? Master George, Tom extended a hand, asking me for the watch. You can't really think I would be interested in your stuff, right? Look at the style. It doesn't even cost $500,000. Is it really that expensive? I raised an eyebrow and casually crossed my arms. It sounds like Master Tom has collected a lot of good watches, so why aren't you wearing any? I'm just too lazy to show off, Tom said lightly, unable to suppress a twitch at the corner of his mouth. Mary was even more furious. Have you finished your excuses? I knew long ago that you were a scoundrel. Thank goodness I didn't marry you. Being associated with someone like you is truly unlucky. Mary raised the topic to another level. The people around couldn't help but whisper, jealous of President Mary living well now. No wonder she wants to take revenge on her current boyfriend. Her character is really terrible. If she can't have it, she'll destroy it. It's better to stay away from her. Mary glared at me. George, stop using these tactics to get my attention. I don't love you anymore, so you might as well give up. I laughed. Mary, have you become mysteriously confident after spending so much time with Tom? The expressions on both of their faces turned extremely ugly. Mary couldn't take it anymore. Stop the nonsense. Quickly return what you stole and apologize to Tom in front of everyone. I'm telling you seriously, I didn't steal. I don't mind if you call the police. When they come, feel free to search me. Just don't let the real thief be too scared to speak up. Then I deliberately looked at Tom, and he awkwardly turned his eyes away. Then call the police. Someone who was enjoying the spectacle took out their phone but was stopped by Tom. Forget it. Let's consider it a gift from Master George and don't delay the important matters. I immediately opposed. That's not acceptable. Since you treasure it so much, you must turn the house upside down to find it. The police will definitely back you up. You're not scared, are you? Who says I'm afraid? Tom clearly lacked some confidence. What happened? Nicole's cold voice brought everyone back to their senses, and they instinctively made way for her. From a distance, Nicole glanced at me and slowly walked to my side. Under the glow of the luxurious chandelier, her cousin's custom-made Bacchus gown shimmered with silver light, like layers of ripples perfectly outlining her enchanting curves. Beautiful. as if the moon goddess had descended to the mortal realm. If Mary exuded a mature beauty refined by the passage of time, then Nicole possessed a stunning beauty that was inherently aggressive. Her every subtle smile and frown could effortlessly captivate others, making them willingly submit to her charm. In comparison, Mary seemed somewhat overshadowed. Everyone present held their breath, even though I had witnessed her beauty countless times. My heart would still race every time I saw her. Someone leaned in close to her ear, recounting the entire sequence of events. Nicole gave me a trusting look, and Mary, who had caught sight of this scene, suddenly appeared uneasy for no apparent reason. "Tom, are you sure?" In response to Mary's question, Tom appeared quite uncomfortable. He rubbed his nose and said, "It's not like I can say for sure that he did it." "Oh, so you're not 100% sure?" Nicole's attitude was somewhat subtle, but anyone with a bit of insight could hear her displeasure. "Miss Nicole, this is just a small matter. No need for you to worry. It's all in the past." Tom forced an awkward smile. The one who instigated the issue was him, and the one who hurried to call it off was also him. Although he has accumulated millions of followers compared to Nicole's over 100 million followers worldwide and her vast business empire, he is simply a small fry. The difference in status is clear at a glance. Nicole refused him. "No, we must get to the bottom of this. It concerns your property and my and Mr. Zorge's reputation." After a moment's hesitation, she quickly regained her composure. "Today I am hosting, and I must provide everyone with an explanation. I will not wrong an innocent person, nor will I let a guilty one go unpunished." Her words were firm and filled with authority. Nicole turned to look at me, her tone unconsciously softening. "Mr. George, what do you think we should do about it? In this circle, those who have been through thick and thin are all sharp-witted individuals, and they naturally sense the close relationship between Nicole and me, showing expressions of surprise and confusion on their faces." Mary stared at me intently, her eyes gradually filling with grievance, as if I had done something very wrong to her. "It's simple. Just call the police," I said. Nicole called her assistant and carefully instructed them on some details. In less than 20 minutes, the police arrived, bringing not only a metal detector but also fingerprint and footprint identification experts. The first place to check was the men's restroom. At this moment, Tom's face was pale, and his body was shaking uncontrollably. His lackey stepped forward with concern. "Tom, are you feeling unwell?" "None of your business!" Tom almost roared as he shook off his hand, an action that was very unusual for him. Seeing this, the others silently stood behind me. Even Mary kept her distance from him. Beep. The metal detector emitted a sound and found Tom's lost watch in the toilet tank. After careful comparison, there were no fingerprints of mine on it. "It was him who wiped it," Tom said with a tremble in his voice. Immediately after, apart from Tom's and the unrelated person's footprints, there were still no traces of my footsteps in the stall where the toilet was located. "It was also him who wiped it," I choked on the rest of Tom's words. "If I could steal your watch in a minute, pry open the water tank, and hide it underneath while conveniently wiping away fingerprints and footprints, then I would really be something. It is obvious who orchestrated this play." Everyone woke up to the fact that it was Tom who was making things difficult for me all along. "Mr. Tom, please come with us." The police made a gesture inviting him. "Framing up others will lead to corresponding penalties," as they brushed past each other. Nicole reminded him. "Tom, skill comes after virtue." It felt more like a stern warning. Tom lowered his head deeply, his face full of shame, feeling utterly humiliated. The farce has finally come to an end. Nicole secretly gave me an okay hand gesture and mouthed the words, "Done." Suddenly, Mary accidentally bumped into someone. "Sorry," she said weakly. "President Mary, That kid is too young and unreliable. The middle-aged man who had spoken for them forced a smile, noticing that Mary was in a bad mood and wisely stepped back, turning to join the crowd surrounding Nicole, showering her with compliments. Many others also came to get close to me. After all, Nicole was clearly on my side, and building a good relationship with me would benefit them. They probably all forgot how they had just judged me. After exchanging pleasantries, Nicole stepped up the stairs one by one. The clicking sound of her high heels gradually quieted the room. Holding the microphone, she smiled gently and charmingly. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend the dinner. You are all my longtime friends and partners. Here, I would like to announce the most important decision of my life and invite you all to witness it together. Nicole slowly raised her left hand. On her middle finger was a dazzling diamond ring. I am married. My husband is George. Time seemed to freeze, and everyone was momentarily taken aback, their faces filled with shock. Did I hear that right? George? They're actually together? When did this happen? Countless people are going to lose sleep over this tonight. Nicole lifted her skirt, quickened her pace down the stage, crossed the crowd, took my hand, and brought me to the microphone. George, will you marry me? She smiled as she took out the ring box. How annoying, I said helplessly, yet affectionately. Clearly, I had proposed to her once, and the two of us even obtained a marriage certificate, but she insisted on giving me another romantic proposal ceremony, wanting to keep the surprise until the end, leaving the guests puzzled. I just want to be spoiled. Come on, just say, will you marry me? Don't keep me waiting. Nicole continued to act cute. I turned around and, in front of everyone, said seriously and firmly, I am willing to marry Nicole and love her forever. The applause thundered from the audience, and a wave of enthusiastic blessings erupted, except for Mary, who looked flustered. The wine glass in her hand fell to the ground, splashing liquid everywhere, rolling clumsily on the floor for a few turns, the bright red wine soaking her dress. But she didn't think to wipe it off. Her eyes gradually filled with tears as she stared at me without blinking. I felt no turbulence within me. Look at me, don't look at anyone else. Nicole pulled my gaze back and put a ring on my finger. All right, just looking at you. I smiled as I embraced her, and under the flash of the camera, I kissed her reverently. 5 minutes later, it went viral. The top actress officially announced a relationship accompanied by a group photo. Familiar faces from the entertainment industry were all there with Nicole and me, surrounded in the center, kissing amidst the fluttering petals. The memes in the comment section were excitedly shouting, "This is just too much like a drama. How happy, the envy." I patted her back to comfort her, saying, "Don't be afraid. I'm here and doing just fine." Nicole struggled to regain her composure. Her opened eyes slightly reddened, and 2 tears rolled down from the corners of her eyes. Fortunately, it was just a dream. She drank the water I handed her, a wave of fear washing over her. "What did you dream about?" I asked patiently, a special intuition arising in my heart. "I dreamed that the elevator had an accident, and you and Mary both died. Although your family didn't invite me, I still attended your funeral every year after your death. I went to your gravestone to bring flowers. I regret not telling you sooner that I liked you long before you ever thought of me." Nicole shook the hem of my clothes, weaving a story. She was only 18 when she first became popular at a dinner party. She was pressured by a group of big shots to drink. Her tolerance for alcohol was low, and after just a few glasses, she started to feel unwell. She had thought that she could achieve fame right from her debut and avoid the unspoken rules of the entertainment industry. But unfortunately, she was too naive. Her manager advised her that if she could please those big shots, she would gain access to more resources. The person she trusted the most at that time personally pushed her towards the big shots, as if promoting the most prized product. She screamed in fright, and the wine glass fell to the ground, splashing the big shot's pant leg. He forced her to kneel and apologize, and just when she felt utterly hopeless, a boy in a school uniform burst into the private room. He looked about 16 or 17 and spoke up. "Is it interesting to bully a girl at this age? It's really shameless." The big shot suddenly flipped the table. "Where the hell did you come from, you little beast?" The boy's face was pale, and his tone was dismissive. "The young master of the Venus Group, George. Have you thought it through before you insult me?" As soon as these words were spoken, the private room fell silent. The Venus family members are indeed big shots in the business world. Compared to George, this big shot is hardly worth mentioning. Since George is here, his elder must be next door. The man sulkily fell back into his chair. "You're an actress, right? Take my business card and go sign with my family's company. No one would dare keep you." He shot a glare at her manager. "While I was still in school, I made exquisite business cards, holding them in my palm, warm to the touch." "Why are you still sitting there? Let's go," I said to the others. A group of men hurriedly grabbed their clothes and slipped away exceptionally quickly. Nicole was worried about breach of contract liability and ultimately did not sign with my family's company. Fortunately, she did not encounter any unfair treatment later on, and the agent treated her with great respect. When the contract expired, she heard about my news of going abroad and decided to develop overseas for a while also founding her own company. As she wished, we met at the art exhibition. I had clearly forgotten about that incident, but she mustered the courage to exchange contact information with me. After her relentless pursuit, we finally started dating. "That's it. I've remembered you, George." Nicole pinched my cheek. "I am sorry. I don't remember. My family used to always take me to social gatherings, and I wasn't very comfortable in that atmosphere. I often made excuses to sneak out, pretending to wander in the hallway. But in reality, I was eavesdropping on the conversations in each private room. Whenever I encountered something unfair, I couldn't wait to play the hero. My grandfather didn't know that I was using his name behind his back, getting into a lot of trouble. It's truly not easy to have made it this far." "It's okay. I just need to remember." Nicole smiled gently. "Strong people should protect the weak, and that's what I've learned from you." She said that over the years, she has been passionate about public welfare, and a large part of the reason is the influence I've had on her. I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. True love is uplifting. No matter what difficulties I face, she is always there to support me. She cries with me, laughs with me, puts herself in my shoes, and gives me endless understanding. We have never had a single argument. Nicole looked seriously into my eyes. "I don't want to lose you a second time. The two of us are tightly nestled together, and I don't want to miss her anymore." Later, Tom's reputation collapsed. He was exposed for cheating on multiple female fans at the same time, causing an uproar on the internet, with the comment section filled with condemnation. One of the female fans was the same one he had dating rumors with in his previous life. I couldn't help but sigh at the cyclical nature of fate. Some things have changed, while some things remain the same. One night, I was awakened by the ringing of the phone. Groggy, I pressed the answer button without even checking the caller's name. Mary's voice, tinged with tears, echoed in my ears. "George, I'm sick. I feel so unwell. Can you come see me?" The drowsiness instantly faded, and I hurried to comfort my wife, who had also been awakened by the noise. Nicole huffed unhappily. "President Mary, there should be many people who want to care about you, not just one." After saying that, I intended to hang up. "George," Mary called my name excitedly, crying until her voice was hoarse. "I regret it. I really regret it. I shouldn't have broken off our engagement. I've thought it through. My true love is you." At this point, there's no point in saying more. I patiently explained, "What you regret is wanting too much, and as a result, you can't hold on to anything. One is a powerful woman in business, and the other is a rising star in the entertainment industry. It's just 2 words. Perfect match. Why? I clearly arrived first, yet I still lost. Mary was completely despondent. Emotions do not care about the order of arrival. Those who are not loved are always on the losing side. Mary, and also to my former self, Mary deceived herself and said, "You love me, otherwise you wouldn't answer my calls. Honey, I'm so sleepy. Let's keep sleeping." Nicole cuddled me and acted cute, deliberately elongating the second half of her sentence so that the person on the other end of the phone could hear clearly. Mary fell silent for a full 10 seconds before she despondently hung up the phone. I put down my phone and returned to the blanket.